Hello everyone, today's poem is Xiaoya, 宾之初宴, Part 2. In the Part 1 video, we have gone through the background of this poem. We also explored the first and second paragraph. So basically, this poem is about big events, a big party that the king of Zhou treat his best guests. Very likely the lords from the major states, the very key states of the Zhou country. So the events started with several toasts at the very beginning, and then the most important part started, the shooting game. And from the shooting game, we can see how important the archery, the shooting skills was for the Zhou people. And by the result of the shooting game, it's competing by two teams or several teams. By the result of the shooting games, the winner was rewarded by the king, and then they went to their ancestors' temple to celebrate, to pray, to make their offering. So that's the habit of Zhou. Whenever they have a big deal, have something big, they always go to their ancestors' temple and tell their plan or tell the result of that plan. Per the poem, the sacrifice and pray to the ancestors is a very, very complicated process. Per the poem, it was told as 百里祭祀有任有灵. So 100 rituals has been performed, and there's so many witches and people around. 任 very likely it means the witch. 灵 describe the witches and the people who are involved in this sacrifice are so many. And at the end of this sacrifice, the award was given to the winners of the shooting games, and this enlightened everybody and make everybody high again from a very long process of the sacrifice, pray to the ancestors. So finally, they went back to their big dining hall and have the toast, have the wines again. So basically, this is a first and second paragraph about. The first and second paragraph is just like taking snapshots in a very long and complicated events. Use the snapshots to reflect the highlighted moment. And the third and fourth paragraph is only focused on the drinking part. The drinking started at the very beginning of this event. The events started with several toasts, and then the shooting game, the sacrifice to ancestors, after all, and the reward was given. And after that, they went back to the drinking party again. And finally, the whole event was finished by this drinking party. Everybody drunk. And so in the third and fourth paragraph, it goes to the very details of this drinking party from the very beginning to the end. Okay, let's get to the third paragraph. 宾之初宴，温温其恭. At the very beginning of this big party, this big event, everybody looks mild and respectful. 温温 very mild. 其为罪止，威仪反反；乐既罪止，威仪翻翻。So before he drank, his behavior, his outlook is very self-constrained, with respectful. And after he drank, once he drank, his outlook, his behavior is loose or indulgence. The funny thing here is the two characters, 威仪反反 and the next sentence, 威仪翻翻. Actually, it's hard for us to know what the exact meaning it is. But I believe from the very beginning till today, it's all a wild guess what this character means. And through the context, because through the context, we know the first sentence is positive, is to praise that person about his behavior, about his outlook, 威仪 his behavior, his outlook. And the second is sort of the negative, blaming to his bad behavior. But for Fan Fan and Fan Fan, actually it's really hard for us to know what exactly means in this poem, or when the poet wrote this poem. Okay, let's continue. We have a lot of similar words like Fan Fan. Fan Fan it's hard for us to pretend to explain, but we can guess from the context what roughly it means. 舍其作迁，履舞纤纤. He left his seat and went away, and he danced once a while. Drunk. So here, 舍其作迁 is describing the status. The guy drunk. So he cannot keep himself very well. So he moved away, and sometimes he go away from his seat. So in that time, the seat is on the ground. So the people kneel down on his knees on the ground. So everything was the food, the wine was laid on a small table in front of him, and so he just stand up and moved away and danced. 纤纤 we don't know, but we know it's describing this guy was dancing drunk. Okay, let's continue. 其为罪止，威仪奕奕；乐既罪止，威仪毕毕。Before he drank, his behavior, his outlook is very self-constrained, very well. So this is describing they are the lords, they are the gentlemen. 乐既罪止, after they drank, their outlook, their behavior is loose and indulgence again. Basically, these two sentences are the repeating of the previous sentences. You can see there are 4 sentences with the term 威仪, the outlook and behavior. 威仪反反, 威仪翻翻, 威仪奕奕, 威仪毕毕. So this is all reconfirm that all those laws on the table, before they drank, they are gentlemen, they behave themselves, and after they drank, they are loose, they are indulgence, they don't behave themselves. And the last sentence make the conclusion, 是乐既醉，不知其志. And now we know they are all drunk and they don't know the order at all. So the Zhou society is a very, very focused, or they value the order very much. They order between people, each other. They order between different society. They order in events. And now the order was lost. Okay, the fourth paragraph. Let's see how those drunk lords behave. 宾既醉止，宰豪宰挠。All my guests, they drunk. They just shouted and say out loud. 豪 is a long voice, very loud. So the Chinese describe the wolf. The sound of wolf is 嚎, 狼嚎. And now, actually, we are not quite sure about the real meaning, but we make a wild guess. It's sort of the very noisy, big noises. So you just imagine a bunch of people with too much alcohol, and they cannot behave themselves, and they shout, they singing songs out loud. 乱我编斗，吕武七七。They messed up all my bronze vessels. Remember the vessels to hold all the sauces and nuts at the very beginning of this poem. So at this time, they messed up the table in front of them, and they danced again and again. And for the qi qi, the term qi qi, we don't know, but we can make a wild guess. It's describing a drunk man dancing there. He cannot stand up very well. He tell to the left, tell to the right, and sometimes maybe he just collapse on the ground. 吕武七七。Okay, let's continue. 是月既醉，不知其由。And now we know they are all drunk, and they don't know what they are violated. 由 is a long word of 由 means violate the law, violate something. So actually they lost their common sense, they lost their mindset because of too much alcohol. Okay, the next sentence. 侧辩之额，吕武搓搓。His head, 辩 is the head. His head tiled is not is tiled to another, to the left or to the right, and they danced with a very bad dressing there. So this is a very, very vivid description. So it describe their dress, their hat, to reflect they are so drunk and they are so high. Compared to today, a drunk man, the tie loosen, the sleeves was ramp up, the suit may be lost somewhere, lost. So you can just imagine how the drunk man behave. Again, we don't know exactly what the meaning of 搓搓. Anyhow, we know it described the status, the situation. A drunk man was dancing or very high around the table. Okay, let's continue. 既醉而出，并受其福；醉而不出，是谓罚得。So as far as you drunk and you get out, you will take all the bless and fortunes with you. 并受其福, you take all the fortune and luck with you. As far as you're drunk, but you don't go out, which will do a great damage to your fortune, to your virtue, to your luck. So what does it mean, go out? This is a law in the Zhou dynasty. So on the drinking party, drunk is encouraged. It's not a bad thing. But as far as you know you're drunk, you stand up and get out of the drinking party, go back to your home. And this is the code of conduct. This is a very, very good behavior. But as far as you're drunk, one thing you may not know you are drunk. The other thing is you know you're drunk, but you insist to stay in the drinking party. This is a very, very bad behavior, and the Zhou people believe this will do a great damage to their virtue, to their fortune. So this is two sentence means, and this is a code of conduct on the drinking party. And the last sentence concluded the code of conduct. 饮酒恐加为其令夷. So the drinking is always greatly encouraged. 恐加, 恐 is big, 加 is encouraged. But you should keep your outlook and your behavior. 令夷, you keep your behavior and your outlook. So which means if you cannot keep up with yourself, you lose the control of yourself, get out and go back to your home, and you are a good man. Okay, the final paragraph looks like a ramp up or a report to the king. 凡此饮酒，或醉或痞. In general speaking, when there is a drinking party, someone would drunk, someone would not. 既利之间，或佐之使. We have put a supervisor to supervise the drinking event. We also put a historian to record the whole drinking party. The supervisor in the drinking party, 煎酒, this is still a tradition, exists in today's life, but not in big cities. So if you go to some of the small cities, the countryside, you have a big drinking party with a lot of people, with friends. Very likely someone will make the rule of that day, how the drinking was ordered, maybe one by one, or one lead around, the second lead around, drink around. So there's many ways. So very likely there's a guy will be responsible for put up the rules and to monitor, to supervise who obey the order, the rules, who violate the rules. The person violate rules will be punished for more drinkings. So or maybe punished for something others. So this tradition could be traced down at least something 3,000 years before. 既利之间，或佐之使. The difference is the historian who records the whole events, the behavior of each attendees. Just imagine the attendees are all the state lords, the high-ranking officials. These people are very, very important to the whole country. So the king are very careful to monitor these guys, to record their behaviors. And according all this record, First thing first, this could be a baseline for the reward or punishment for these guys. The second is a baseline for the further planning or actions in the future. So this is all the key roles in the country, and even in a drinking party, their behaviors are recorded. Okay, let's continue. 比醉不脏，不醉反耻. Someone think when drink too much wine, drunk is not a good thing, and someone think if you are not drunk, it's shameful not drunk in a drinking party. So this is all different opinions. Someone said, if you are drunk, you're not good. You're not with no luck. And someone said it's shameful that in a drinking party you don't drink, you don't get drunk. Okay, the next sentence. This is the poet's opinion. 事物从未无必大待. So follow those that prohibit by the code of conduct. Follow the words of the other people is not good. Don't let your behavior, your outlook get loosened, be damaged. So this is a reconfirmation to the last sentence in the fourth paragraph. 饮酒恐嘉，惟其令矣. So drink as much as you could, or drink once is always encouraged. But meanwhile, keep your virtue and keep yourself, behave yourself. This is two things most important in a drinking party. And the thing not right is that you don't think, you don't want to drink too much wine and don't want drunk. And the other thing not good is you just want to drunk in this party, but don't take care any of your behavior. So this is a sort of the discussion or exploring to all kinds of behavior and tell us what is a good behavior, what is a bad behavior in a drinking party. The next two sentences is about do not, the something you should not do in a drinking party. 非言勿言，非游勿语. Don't say those you shouldn't say. Don't tell each other something you don't have. The character 有 could be a long word of 有 have. Next sentence. 有罪之言，譬诸铜鼓. The words from a drunk person is just like the words of a kid, of a small lamp. 铜, the servant, the junior servant, the very young junior servant. 鼓 is the very young lamp, the little lamp. So which means the childish things. So this sentence means all the words you spoken when you're drunk is all childish things. 三绝不失，神感多有. You don't know the 3 cups, and how could you have so many things. 三绝, the three cups, very likely is the rule of in a drinking party. The first cup, the second cup, the third cup, and after the third cup, there could be some other rules, but actually we don't know the details. There is a saying that in a drinking party, when the king was present, everybody should only drink 3 cups. But actually, as far as we read so many poems in the Book of Songs, we know that's not the fact. And in this poem, it also tells us very clearly, 饮酒恐嘉, drinking is always encouraged. But through all the context, we know 三绝, 3 cups, is sort of the rules. But basically, it means we have rules, we have laws for the drinking party. Before you know all the laws, the rules for the drinking party, how dare you could drink again and again, and how dare you could have your fortune, have your luck. So the last character, you, could be a double referring. So how could you have many cups again and again? Or is the another word, 有, something have, or the fortune, the luck. So the last paragraph is a little bit strange compared to the previous 4 paragraphs. The previous 2 paragraphs is very likely a description, a record of a real event. And the last paragraph is something of the ramp up of the events, a report of that events to his supervisors. And I think very likely this poet is one of the figures here, the supervisor or the historian, most likely the historian, because these guys are very good at writing. And after a huge drinking party, he has some of his feelings, and so he wrote a report with this poem and sent this report to the king. So the previous 4 paragraphs is the record of the real situation, and the last paragraph is the conclusion and suggestions to the king. We should establish our order in a drinking party, no matter how happy, how high this event was. I'm not disappointing you and all the attendees, all the lords, the high-ranking officials in the drinking party, because the drinking is always greatly encouraged by our people. But the key thing is we should behave ourselves in this drinking party. And I'm at your service. I could be the supervisor, I could be the historian to help everybody to behave themselves. Are these make sense? Very likely. And this poem actually is with a lot of the writing techniques, 排比, 顶针, 对仗. So the writing is very sophisticated writing among the poems in the Book of Songs. And this could be another proof that this poem was written by a scholar type person, the historian. Okay, that's for today. Bye-bye.